Hello, welcome to Stamp Designs with Denise. I am Denise Johnson, an independent demonstrator for Stamping Up, coming to you from Bedford, New Hampshire. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your watching and leaving comments for me. It really helps me build my business, and I would also appreciate it if you would place your order with me, subscribe to Paper Pumpkin with me. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help you out. We have a new catalog that will be launching on May 4th. And if you would like a copy of a catalog, please reach out to me. stampdesignswithdenise.net is my blog. And my email is stampdesigns@comcast.net. Today I'm going to be making some alternate cards using the Paper Pumpkin kit from April called So Cool. I had a lot of fun making these alternate cards. The cards that came with the kit are super cute and cherry, and my alternate cards, I hope, carried that theme over, and will show you some other uses for the products in this kit. So let me get my camera turned around and we will get started. So Stampin' Up's next kit will be Batter Up, and it is available to subscribe until May 10th. So make sure that you get your subscription in if you are interested in this nostalgic card to celebrate the all-stars in your life. The kit will contain enough supplies to create 9 cards and coordinating envelopes. There is also a ballpark favorite included, some bubble gum, and the kit is a timeless throwback with classic colors, pinwheel and pinstripe patterns, and a vintage washed paper pieces. And you can create 9 cards in coordinating envelopes with this. I'll put a link in my blog to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. The annual catalog is retiring on May 3rd, so time is running out. If there are items that are retiring that you wish to get, you need to order now. The May to April annual catalog will be released on May 4th. So this is available beginning May 4th. If you watch next week, starting on May 3rd, I'm going to be doing a video showcasing some of the items I was able to pre-order. As a demonstrator, you can pre-order items up to a month in advance of the catalogs being released, so it's a great benefit of being a demonstrator. This was the current Paper Pumpkin kit, the So Cool for April. As you can see, it was a little bit smashed in the mail, but when it arrived, everything inside was intact, so I was happy about that. All kits come with these instructions, directions, some colors, coordinating products, and this kit you were able to make 3 of each of these 4 designs. So some really fun summer images. It also comes with a Stampin' spot in the Bermuda Bay, some twine, you know, everything that you need to do this. It also included some sticker sheets, and it coordinates with the Ice Cream Corner Designer Series paper. So I will be using some of this in my alternate cards. So this is the Designer Series paper that you can order through Stamping Up. It is 12 by 12 sheets. You get 2 of each pattern. They are double-sided, so they're a lot of fun. This also coordinates with the Sweet Ice Cream suite of products. So that included this stamp set and this ice cream punch, some little sprinkle, they're sort of foam gems, and then it also came with this Blackberry Bliss ribbon. So I'm not going to use any, I'm going to use the stamp set in a little bit, and I will use some of the Designer Series papers with our alternate projects. So let me get this cleared out, and we will start with our alternate projects. So our first card is going to be using the thick basic white, 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4. And as always, my measurements and pictures of these cards will be on my blog, stampdesignswithdenise.net. I also have a layer of basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have some of that designer series paper. This piece is 1 inch by 5 1/4. This is 1/2 inch by 5 1/2. This is a scrap piece of basic white. And then we're also going to add some of this designer series paper to our envelope. So I have a basic white medium envelope. And this designer series paper is 2 3/8 by 5 7/8. So I'm going to use this watermelon stamp that came with the kit, and we need some Memento black ink. Let me grab that. So I'm going to stamp these. I want 3 of these. Almost didn't make my scrap paper big enough. That's okay. I have some extras that I've already done, so we'll make this work. So what I use to do this is I actually use the watercolor pencils assortment number 2, and I took out the cherry cobbler and the granny apple green, and I colored these in with my watercolor pencils. So if you have Stampin' blends, you could use your Stampin' blends. I thought the watercolor pencils were pretty nice. So as I said, I've already done some of this so that you don't have to sit here and watch me color. And then what I like to do is I like to take a blender pen and it just sort of go over your colored image, and it softens all those pencil marks and sort of like watercolors that out. And then you can reuse this. So what I do is I have a scrap piece of paper, and then you just kind of work off all that ink that you picked up until it runs clear. And then you can do the next color. So you do want to clean it between uses so that you don't start pulling like that red into this green color. So then we can just soften that. And again, just clean this off. And then I'll put it away for another use. And then using my paper snips, I want to cut out my stamped images. And this is a pretty easy image to hand cut out. And now to save time, I have my other 2 that I've done ahead of time. So these pencils come in the assortment 2, which has, let's see, I think it's 12 different colors, 10 different colors, and then the first assortment has 12 different, because it includes your black and your white in it. And then the blender pens come in a 2-pack if you need those. So let's get our card layered. Then we're going to put our designer series paper on the bottom of our basic white layer. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment right here, and I'm going to do the hey there. We'll use that black ink again. And then I'm just going to use some dimensionals. So there are dimensionals that come with the kit. You get dimensionals and some glue dots for your adhesive. And we'll just sort of put these here. Let's see, one more on this side, and then this side's gonna have a little bit of tape. So we'll stick that. And then with the kit, there was some of this twine, and we'll cut about 7 inches of that, and we'll make a little bow. And using a glue dot, I'm going to attach that right here to the watermelon. Like that. And then of course we need to make the sparkle, so I have my Wink of Stella, and we're going to add some sparkle to our watermelon. We can add this to our card base. And then we have this 1/2 inch strip that we're going to put on the inside. And we'll add our other watermelon slice to that. I'm not going to use dimensionals on this because it's in the inside of our card. We will wink this one up. And then for our sentiment, we're going to do the "You're So Cool." Try not to get my ink on the top of my card there now that I've got it all finished. Put that there, and there we go. That's that card. Let me get my inks out of the way. And then I said we're going to do the envelope, so I am just going to put a little bit of glue all the way around the edge of this envelope. We attach our piece of paper there. And then using my paper snips, we'll just trim around the edge. And there we have our first card. So using those watercolor pencils again, we're going to create another card. So we have our card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have a Bermuda Bay that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have a basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. And we're going to use that other image of the popsicle, and still using our black ink. So this one I'm just going to eyeball. If you have a Stamparatus, which is a stamp positioning tool, this would be a perfect use of this. I'm just going to eyeball it, kind of putting one on either side, and then come in and do the ones in the middle, trying to space them out. So it's not going to be perfect. It looks pretty good, actually, I think. You know, a Stamparatus tool would evenly space each one of them, but it is a handmade card, so eyeballing it I think is pretty good. And then I'm going to attach this to the Bermuda Bay layer. And attach this to my card base. And then using that You're So Cool, let me clean it. We're going to stamp this, and I have a big Bermuda Bay, but Bermuda Bay is the color that the little stamp spot that came with this kit. So I would stamp this here. You Are So Cool. And then using the watercolor pencils, I would color this in. And so again, in the interest of time, I have pre-colored this so that you could see. Use the watercolor pencils to color in the various colors, and then I went over it with my Stampin' Blend marker, and then I added some sparkle with the Wink of Stella. So that's that second card done. So the watercolor pencils, it gives you, you know, I think it's reasonably priced for all the colors that you get. You know, it takes a long time to get all of those Stampin' Blends and all the colors. It can be a little bit pricey doing it that way. So those watercolor pencils are great. And then the blender pens help you add some dimension and soften those watercolor lines. So let us get cleaned up a little bit here, clean my stamp sets, and we'll do our next card. So for this next card, I wanted to use one of the pre-cut cards from the kit. So this was a card that opened up, and I actually have already pre-cut it with my paper trimmer. So now I have my popsicle and I have the background. I'm also going to be using one of the envelope liners here for some Designer Series paper on our card. So our card base is the Blackberry Bliss 8.5 by 5.5, and scored that at 4 1/4. And then I have a basic white envelope, and I've actually already added some of that Designer Series paper from that ice cream corner package. And so this actually, as you can see, so pretty much matches the inside of the envelopes that came with the kit. So let me grab my paper trimmer, get this out of the way, and we're going to open this up. Oh, yeah, this is one of the sentiment banners that came with the kit, so we will be using that as well. So I want 4 pieces of this paper at 3 3/4 by 1 1/8. So I'm going to get it all cut first. So this is where the envelope seam is. So I'm gonna cut that off, and we could use that for another purpose. Okay, so I need it 3 3/4. I mean, I'm sorry. Yep, 3 3/4. So I'm gonna trim that there, and then maybe actually keep that for the inside of our card. And then I need 4 at 1 1/8. So we will cut these. Okay, so now I have my 4 pieces. I'm going to put these on the front of my card like that. I think I need a new blade for my paper trimmer. It looks like it's cutting this paper a little bit rough, so that just needs a new blade. Now I'm going to use some dimensionals, and we will pop up my popsicle on the front. And then we'll stamp our sentiment. I'm going to do the happy birthday, and I'm actually going to do that in the Blackberry Bliss ink. We will use dimensional to pop this up as well. And then for the inside of the card, I'm actually going to use this backing from the original card and put that right in there. And we're going to stamp that "You Are So Cool" sentiment on the inside. And then I have that extra piece of paper that I had cut out from the inside of the card. So we'll put this on the inside as well. Just stick it right down the side there. And there's our next card. And as I said, I did the designer series paper on the envelope, so we have a matching envelope. There's my bone folder. And there we go. And so here is another card that I made with that other card front, which was the other popsicle. So this one I used Bermuda Bay as my background. So let me get those stamps cleaned up. So for this next card, our card parts are the thick basic white, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a layer of the, so for this, the terracotta tile is the coordinating color. The terracotta tile is one of the retiring colors, and I do not know whether it is still available or not. But so I also cut a piece of the Calypso Coral just to show you. Terracotta tile is slightly darker than the Calypso Coral, so they're both pretty similar, so you could use either one. So this piece of paper is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and then I have a piece of that designer series paper from the Ice Cream Corner, and that is also 5 by 3 3/4. I have a little strip of the designer series paper that is 1/4 inch by 5.5, and then I have a basic white label that I die cut with the Tasteful label dies. And then for this, we're also going to use one of these stickers that came in the set. The stickers are not used on the cards in the kit, but they were given to decorate the envelopes with. So for this, the only stamping we're going to do is we're going to do a sentiment, and I'm going to do the hey there. And again, you can use either the terracotta tile or the Calypso Coral. They will both coordinate with this. And put that up in there, and then I'm going to use this watermelon sticker and add that right there, and then we're going to get our card put together. So I'm just going to, these pieces of paper are both the same size, so I'm just going to sort of stagger them on the card front. And then using my dimensionals, I am going to pop this up. I'm also going to grab a new sheet of dimensionals, since I'm down to the bare bones on this one. And then for this, I'm just going to put it on the inside. Right down the side there. And then I didn't decorate an envelope for this, but you could do the same exact thing. Use some of this designer series paper, and then here's the same card that I used, and I used the strawberry sticker instead of the watermelon.
Okay, now I have our last card. We will be using those stickers again. I have my basic white thick cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5. It is scored at 4 1/4. I have a basic white layer that is 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Designer Series paper, and this is 1.5 inches by 5 1/4. I also have a piece of the terracotta tile or Calypso coral, whichever you would like to use, that is 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. I have a strip of this Designer Series paper. This is just the back side. This will go on the inside. This is also 1/2 inch by 5 1/2. This is one of the sentiment labels that comes from the kit. Then I have a basic white envelope and a piece of the Designer Series paper to decorate that. That is 2 3/8 by 5 7/8. So for this, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to be using this popsicle sticker, and I sort of wanted to make a background that was like a little bit of water wash. So I'm going to take my terracotta tile, and I have just a block here, and I'm going to get some ink on it. And I'm also going to get a paper towel so I don't make a mess. And then I have one of our water painters. So they come in a set of 3. There's 3 different sizes. This is the larger of the brush tips, and then there's also a flat brush tip. And the base gets filled with water. So then you just squeeze it and the water will come out the end. So I am going to add some water to this, because I want, and then what I'm going to do is kind of drop some water droplets on here. Like that. So let me just set that aside to dry. I clean this up. And then just to get the water, get the color off of this, I'm just going to keep squirting water out of it until it runs clear. So now it's running clear. And there's our water splashed card. Let me stamp my sentiment. So I wanted to use this round one. I really liked the "You Are So Cool" because I'm using popsicles. However, obviously too big for that. So I went to my sweet ice cream stamp set, and it has the "You're So Cool" stamp. So we're going to use that from that stamp set as our sentiment. And we'll put that right on that. And because I was already using that stamp set, it has these little sprinkles or these little dots, and I decided to use the sprinkles as well. So I'm going to use Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to stamp off first because I don't want that at full strength, and then I'm just going to put some sprinkles right over that. So they're sort of subtle just underneath that. And our inside sentiment is going to be "Happy Birthday." So let's get our terracotta tile out again. Step the "Happy Birthday," and then we will do maybe some sprinkles on this as well. And we had that, let's see, we had a piece of paper for the inside here. So we'll attach that on the inside. And now we will, this is dry, so we will attach our designer series paper. Oh, I wanted to do this first. Let me see. I can do this now that I've got tape on the other thing. You know what? I'm gonna put some tape right down the edge. I did it on the wrong side. Okay, put some tape down this edge. And I just thought I'm going to use my silicone mat now that I've got tape all over this. I don't want it to stick to my paper underneath yet. So we line that up just so a little bit of it is peeking out. And then I can attach it to this. And then I will get my sticker and put my popsicle on that. And then I have my sentiment. Put that right there. We can attach this to our card front now. And then I made this card in the Bermuda Bay as well using the other sticker that came with it. So I just sort of coordinated my colors with the popsicle colors. And I will finish off my envelope. Trim it up with my paper snips. And there we have our coordinating envelope as well. So let me bring out all the cards. So again, all of the measurements and supplies I used will be on my blog, stampdesignswithdenise.net. If you are interested in subscribing to Paper Pumpkin with me, I send all of my subscribers a PDF that contains exclusive alternate projects using the monthly kits. And if you are interested in purchasing the Ice Cream Corner Suite or any other products with me, this is my April host code. Again, it's stampdesignswithdenise.net, and I would appreciate your orders and your subscriptions. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me, and remember to leave a little sparkle wherever you go.